Welcome to 4th&1, where I always got it done. Bringing facts about a ton before the rising of the sun. But this ain't me in the shotgun. This is me in front of you. Damn. Welcome to 4th&1, where I always got it done. Bringing facts about a ton before the rising of the sun. But this ain't me in the shotgun. This is me in front of your TV. Having a whole lot of fun. Hey, first down, viral moment of the week. Let's get into it.
What a difference maker he has been.
Aiden Hutchinson, my guy. That is absolutely ridiculous. And speaking from a quarterback, you hate to throw weak-ass picks like this.
But what did that look like when you was quarterback, but you on the highlight reel, but somebody else highlight reel? Like, do that hit you different though?
What, emotionally, hell yeah. Shit, you don't want to be on nobody motherfucking highlight reel. Man, it's too many times I either was on the sack reel or it's just somebody else. Like, nobody wants to be on somebody else's poster. This right here, like, you just look at it like, fuck, I just threw a pick. That's number one. Damn, I threw a pick to a DN, which is really supposed to be a safe play because it's a screen pass. You ain't even throwing the ball downfield. That shit sucked.
Then he one-handed on your boy.
Then he one-handed that hoe.
One-hand man.
And then tried to get jiggy. Look at Jig. Like, this is another thing too. Like, you threw a pick. Fuck. You threw a pick to a DN. Fuck. Now I gotta tackle him. Fuck.
Then he didn't tackle him though.
Fuck. It's so many fucks. Here we go. Second down. Questionable calls of the week. Oh, there's a lot of hip thrusts. A lot of hip thrusts. We've seen what we call catching the fanatic Holy Ghost. The young lady was just very flagrant, very forceful, vigorous hip thrust that was literally uncalled for. But if you were to ask her what was she thinking, she probably couldn't tell you what she was thinking because she probably wasn't even thinking. She, like I said, she just called the fanatic Holy Ghost.
But what about my man's over there? Like he was.
Okay, press pause right there. Every man that's been in that position where you are in front of your girlfriend, your wife, your situation.
Hello.
Goodbye. If your girlfriend don't look first, so when she looks, boom, that's when you get the look, real quick look. But if she don't look, that's when you just look into the menu and say, oh, they got jalapeno poppers? Oh, that's my favorite. And I'm Cam Newton and I approve this message. So third down, Boogie approved. Yeah, Smoking Joe. Yeah.
This was all free. The sweatshirt was made by my friend, and the shoes are from of Kid Cudi. So
I made an award a couple weeks ago, and as a humble representative of Black America, Joe Burrow, I would like to honor you with being grandfathered into the culture. Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, you know, first round pick, quarterback, and all the above. This culture appreciation or culture acceptance from Black America is something that is a very prestigious award. And my boy, Joe Shiesty, welcome to the damn elite cloth of people from the melanin descent. Here we go, fourth down. Wholesome moment of the week, or as I would like to call it, the One Love Award.
Did you ever talk to
No.
He never.
Nope.
Did he reach out, or you didn't accept the call, or?
Nope.
In one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL, and Nathaniel Hackett downplayed that all week, but you know this feels sweet.
Oh, he's loving this. You can see it.
Yeah. Let's just say this. I've had the luxury to be in a locker room where meaningful games is a little different because of the backstories, and you want to do or you want to win for other people's, reasons alone.
These stats, but I got one game ball. I just want you guys to know it's an honor to be with you guys. Great job. It's only the beginning. We all could get better. Myself included, I just appreciate all you, man, especially as I get to know you guys.
Yeah, man, that's what it's all about. And like, I'm always asked, what do you miss most about the NFL? It's those moments right there in the locker room after a big win or after a win. Those flights back home, man, are lit as hell. That's when you really bond closer to your teammates. So, man, my One Love Award goes to Coach Hack. Man, congratulations. And for the main segment of the show, Newton's Law, we have a special guest today, my fellow Heisman Trophy winner, Mr. RGiii. Robert, my guy. How are you?
What's up, brother?
Man, I can't call it, man. First off, I want to congratulate you, man, on the ESPN gig, bro. How's that been for you?
Dog. Appreciate you. It's been fun. A little bit different than I anticipated. You know, Cam, like when we're in the locker room, you know, guys like don't want to go into TV because they see how sometimes the old heads can turn against them and start trashing them. So it wasn't something I really wanted to do. But once I got into it, I realized you don't have to do it that way. Yeah. I almost feel like I'm a guardian on the set for Monday Night Countdown because the show and shows in general in studio can tend to get really negative. Yeah. I know you know this. Yes. You know, we both experienced it in our own careers. Mm-hmm. So I kind of almost feel like a guardian up there trying to make sure that we don't just focus on the negative aspects of what's going on, but that we actually celebrate the game and celebrate the winners and talk about them just as much as we talk about the team that lost.
Because you obviously know what it's like to prepare and get the residual performance that you wanted, and sometimes it don't always go that way too. Man, let's get right into it, bro. What I want to talk about is really your experience being a young rookie quarterback, right? Right. And really balancing two different sectors. Number one, personnel versus personal, right? Okay. We've seen Anthony Richardson, we've seen C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, all these quarterbacks. And just tell me about just managing the GMs, the head coach, the owners, the fans, and even the locker room, for example, you know, can be somewhat strenuous, all the while keeping your personal sanity with, you know, your personal life. Talk to me about it, bro.
Yeah, I would say that the easiest part of it is the locker room, right? When you come in as a rookie, you know this, you had success right off the bat. I had success right off the bat. And those veterans only care about one thing. They want to win, right? They know that they don't have as much football in front of them as they have behind them. So I had London Fletcher. He was my locker mate when I first got to Washington, and they put me next to him for a reason. The guy had never missed a game in his NFL career. Call him the NFL Iron Man. He was great for me leadership-wise, and he literally sat me down first day and said, we don't care about no commercials. We don't care about no brands. We don't care about what you did in college. We just want to see that you can lead us to victory now. Right. And that was my mission. So when I got in there, I did everything I possibly could to make sure that those guys in the locker room knew that I was, you know, going to put it on the line for them. And obviously, throughout my rookie year, I proved that playing through injury, playing through a bunch of different things that altered my career. But I felt like that was the easy part. Managing GMs, head coaches, the fans, the city, that's a whole other can of worms because you know this with Bryce right now versus what CJ's going through. CJ's on the up because he's playing really well and they're winning. Like they're 2-3, but they're winning more games than the Carolina Panthers are right now. And you know this, that winning is the key. Mm-hmm. So Bryce is going through it right now because they're 0-5. Mm-hmm. They're not winning any games. So the fans are mad. They're saying maybe somebody else should have been drafted in that spot. But as soon as they turn it around, all that's going to flip. The GM's going to feel better about his job. The head coach is going to feel better about his job. And I think for a young player, you can't try to manage everything. You can only take care of the product that's on the field. And that's what I tried to focus on. Well,
man, listen, it's hard for me not to, you know, speak on the obvious when I look back at RG3's career, right?
Right.
Marveled over what you was able to do in PG County. You see what I'm saying? Putting that whole city on your back, representing the whole DMV as a whole. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
But the reality of your situation was a little different. You know what I'm saying? You seen the good with the success, but also you seen the bad with whatever we, have heard from the Mike Shanahan to the Snyder situation, like, how were you able to go through that situation and make the most of it, or was it distracting for you?
I would say when I came in, like, I didn't know that we weren't in DC.
Yeah.
Right. So I get drafted. They're like, hey, you going to the Washington, Commanders now, but you going to Washington. So we fly in the airport. I'm thinking, man, we going to be right in the middle of Chocolate City.
Right.
We going to be putting on for the city, everything.
Right.
Man, they flew me to Ashburn, Virginia. And I said, what are we doing in Virginia? And they said, well, we actually practice in Ashburn, Virginia, and we play in Landover, Maryland. I said, so why are we called the Washington, Commanders? They're like, well, we used to be there. We're not in the city anymore. So to me, that was a shock right off the bat.
Did you visit Washington before? Wow.
I did not. I did not visit.
Where
Washington
Where did you think you were going?
I promise you, I thought we was gonna be right dead smack in the middle of DC, next to the Capitol. But I had no clue, because I'm a Texas kid.
Yeah.
I had no clue that that's how they had it set up. So that was an immediate shock for me right off the bat. So now, instead of being in Washington, D.C., being in Chocolate City, I'm in Ashburn, Virginia, one of the highest tax brackets in the entire U.S., trying to figure it out as we go. But to answer your question about Mike and Dan, right? So I didn't know anything about that, right? I'm a first-generation professional athlete. I had no family members were professional athletes. No family members had ever risen to this type of notoriety.
Right.
So we were going in blind. I thought I was just going to go play for the coach of my favorite team growing up, which was the Denver Broncos. I had no idea that him and Dan had a riff. I had no idea that the power dynamic that was going on there. And it wasn't a distraction for me my rookie year, but the rest of my time there in Washington, it just was like a snowball effect of just bad thing after bad thing because of that situation that I had no control over.
Your best relationship was with who, though?
Oh, man, that is a great question.
Because you and I both know, as a quarterback, you're in essence the spokesman for the players upstairs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're the person who reports to the owner. You're the person who reports to the GM. You're the person who reports to the head coach too at times. And you have access that most players don't even think to even have or even want. You see what I'm saying? So when I think back of my time, Jerry Richardson, God rest his soul, as well as Coach Rivera and the GMs at the time, it was just hand to hand, but for you, who was that person that you kind of, you had the best kind of rapport with?
If we're talking about between Mike and Dan, I'd have to say both. Because when I first got to DC, Mike really took me under his wing. Kyle was my offensive coordinator. Matt LaFleur was my quarterback coach. Mike McDaniel was our receiver coach. Was an offensive assistant at first. So I got to know all those guys really, really well, and I leaned on them. Matt LaFleur probably the most of the group, I would say, being my position coach.
Right.
But this, Cam, like when you're the quarterback and you're the franchise guy, the owner is going to want to be around you.
Right.
And I think early in my career, I didn't realize how that impacted everything else going on around me because I didn't know that there was a rift between the head coach and the owner. So as I'm leaning on Mike and I'm having conversations with Mike, I'm thinking we're good.
Right.
And when I'm having conversations with Dan, I'm thinking we're good. Right. And then by the time I left DC in 2015, it was like I had no relationships there with either. And Mike ended up leaving, got fired in 2013.
Right.
And, that wasn't my decision. I wanted to play for Mike and Kyle and those guys for the entirety of my career, but it didn't work out that way. And I know for a fact that they blame me for it.
Did you have any type of speculation from the jump when the night where you feel like, oh man, like I'm the guy I'm walking into a African American's dream playing the quarterback position to be in a city that's represented with people who look like you. You know what I'm saying? And they were hungry for hope. You feel me?
Correct.
That same weekend, so to speak, you hear that they also draft Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Was there any type of like, hold on, the hell going on here?
I would say Mike came into me. Wow, pause that. Yeah. Mike came to me right before they drafted Kirk. I was actually in the building studying some tape because the first day of the draft.
You're getting right into it.
I was already getting into it. So he came to me in the meeting room and he said, "Hey, I just want to let you know that we're going to draft Kirk Cousins, the quarterback from Michigan State." Now, put yourself in my shoes. What am I supposed to say in that moment? No, coach, don't do it. Like,
it's already done.
Can I get another receiver?
Right.
Can we get an old lineman, a pass rusher? Like, I didn't know any of that stuff, guys. I was 22 years old, just had my dream come true. I'm trying to learn the offense. I wasn't focused on that. And you know this as well. It didn't matter who they drafted. They could have drafted another quarterback in the second round. I was still gonna feel like I'm that guy.
Which you were.
I'm the one that's gonna change the franchise. I'm the one that's gonna put us on the right track. I'm gonna play here for the next 20 years. Right. So that was more my mindset. And I had never had an issue with Kirk, despite what anyone might have put out there. Right. There were never any issues there. We're just two competitors. Everybody wants to be on the field. But we had a great relationship. I still have a good relationship with Kirk to this day. But to simply answer your question, had I had a professional background and had people in my corner that kind of could have helped navigate me through that, I think the outcome would have been completely different.
Yeah, I would have been like, hold on. My question would have been simple.
It'd have been different.
Why?
It'd have been different.
Like, why?
Right.
Like, why are we taking another rookie quarterback, not a veteran quarterback, to help me ease what I'm about to go through? You see what I'm saying? So when I look at your situation, I'm like, it was fucked from hello. You know what I'm saying? Because they always had an escape plan and the undue pressure for you to perform in any year. Depending, rookie of the year, all this, all that, it just still was unsettling just to know, like, yo, it's a guy who has the same type of tenure in the league. That's my backup. And that's not
correct.
That's not prototypical to certain situations. When I see Anthony Richardson, you see Gardner Minshew. Right. When you see C.J. Stroud, I'm not sure who his backup is, but when you see Bryce Young, you see Andy Dalton, these veterans who kind of bring these guys in to teach them how to watch film, to teach them how to differentiate personnel versus personnel. You dig what I'm saying? Who gives you some type of insight. So I'm like,
I'm with you.
That right there was the one thing starting off where I'm kind of like side-eyeing the whole situation. So,
yeah, and I've said this before, and it's just one of those deals of, in Washington, that pick was a pick of, how do I say that the right way? Out of spite, if that makes sense. It wasn't a pick to make our team better. It was a pick to say, I didn't want this guy in the first round. I didn't want to give up.
But who though? Is that from
that Mike did? Mike did not want to draft me. In that first round, but the owner did. So he made the pick in the fourth round for Kirk to say, this is the guy that I wanted, and I don't care about the guy that you wanted in that first round.
Yeah.
And I felt that energy, Cam, from the first time we got in the building.
Yeah.
Everything was taught from a perspective of, this guy's been doing this for his whole life. You need to learn how to do this. Yeah. It's the main reason that I wanted to do what I did for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that, right? I was a veteran. When they drafted Lamar, I still remember to this day, Steve Smith was on national TV. And I tweeted out and I said, I can't wait to work with this young man.
Right.
And Steve Smith saw the tweet and he said, you're going to get cut. I don't know what you're talking about. And like, people laughed about it, and I got a good relationship with Steve.
Yeah,
so we laugh about
both.
it now. Right. I laugh about it now, but in that moment, I'm thinking I can actually be for Lamar what I never had in DC.
Right.
I can be that mentor that has seen the game, has played the game, has seen some of the shortcomings of the game, has been at the top, has been at the bottom. I didn't have that in DC. So I was very thankful that I was able to do that for Lamar Jackson. I take no credit for what Lamar has done, but I always support him when he needs to be supported, because that's what you have to have in a quarterback brotherhood. You have to have that in your quarterback room, and I didn't have that in my quarterback room in Washington, and I didn't get it until I was able to do that for Lamar.
As we obviously get to this next topic, bro, we all need unsung heroes behind the scenes, and my unsung hero were really two people, Joe Webb and Derek Anderson. I don't even call them my backups. They was like my teammates and my brothers. So, one of the things that I want to kind of get into next is, who is your way too early Rookie of the Year recipient?
Ooh, that's a tough one, because it's got to be between C.J. Stroud and Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
Because Bijan's crazy, right? We saw the behind the back touchdown catch that he just had this past week. Contact balance. I don't know if there's a guy in the league that has better contact balance than Bijan Robinson, but I've just been beyond impressed with CJ. He's a ball placement specialist. He coined that phrase for himself, because that's what he does. He throws with accuracy. He knows how to operate. He's always process driven. So for guys like myself and you, at times we would be creativity driven.
Right.
But CJ's come into this always process driven, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, great footwork, been having a quarterback coach since he was 10 years old, pretty much. And the fact that he hasn't thrown an interception, he's setting NFL records there. He's closing in on you, which I think people may be starting to get a better appreciation for what you have done in the league. Like I told you on my show, you're one of the greatest quarterbacks of the 21st century.
Yeah.
And CJ's, only second behind you in yards through 4 starts.
Right.
I don't know what he is in yards through 5 starts right now, but I would have to say if CJ continues on this trajectory, he is for sure going to win NFL Rookie of the Year.
I'm going to give you a dark horse, and a lot of people aren't talking about it. Big Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua. Okay, now talk to me.
My boy is over there putting up a great rookie campaign, and nobody's talking about it. When you think about the success of the Los Angeles Rams, a lot of that in place is because of the rookie receiver Puka. And even I had to do my research. I was like, oh, he a rookie? You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys, bro, the league is full of unknown talent. Everybody can play, but the difference between some guys and other guys is the platform don't change. A competitor is a competitor. We all seen guys come into the locker room and felt entitlement, this sense of entitlement where it's like, okay, well, I was the first pick, I was this, I was that. Well, you got a guy like Puka, man. It's like, bro, put me in front of anybody and I'm going to perform. And you've seen him perform. The moment's never too big for him. So that's really one of my dark horses. Obviously, outside of the obvious with C.J. Stroud, I've just been so marveled by C.J.'s ability to stay composed. And rightfully so. I watched the game between the Falcons and Texans this past week, and he was a couple seconds away from getting a much-needed game-winning touchdown, but that's just the law of the land. Nobody really cares, how you lost. You just lost. He played in an excellent game, very mistake-free as much as possible. Right. And I just seen in times where it's like he had opportunities to force it, but, being able to, really manage the game in the right way. Lastly, we basically talk about our way too early Rookie of the Year selections. Also want to take you through this that we share, our way too early Heisman Trophy winners. Okay. Talk to me.
Talk to you. Okay, simple. All right, so for me, number 1 right now is Michael Penix Jr. And I know people might not agree with that because of Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams is my number 2. He's trying to win the Heisman, back-to-back for the first time since Archie Griffin did it.
Right.
But Michael Penix Jr. and what he's doing at Washington is nothing short of amazing. Now, he does have the best receiving core in all of college football with Roma Dunze, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Polk, Jeremy Bernard. I can name them all because I called their game this year. They're talented, very talented. But this guy's a lefty and he throws it just right. He can make every throw. He can layer the throws. He can throw it with velocity. He knows how to make the ball catchable and hit his guys in stride. So I've been really impressed with him. Caleb's number 2, and really, I mean, the guy's unbelievable. I think the one thing that could hold him back from winning the Heisman could be potentially their defense at USC. They're bad. I mean, Cam, they're really, really bad. The only thing holding Caleb back is their defense, that USC defense. We won the Heisman, I believe, with 2 or 3 losses at Baylor. For USC, it just they're not helping him, but they are helping him put up great numbers because they're playing in tight games all the way to the completion of the game. So he's killing it with touchdowns and yards and completion percentage. For me, number 3 right now is Jaden Daniels. Now LSU's lost twice, but this guy's been unbelievable.
Yeah, he's been playing. He's been playing his ass off.
He has been playing his tail off, running the football and throwing the football. I actually think he's a throw first quarterback now, which is a big step for him if you look at what he had been through in his career. Number 4, I would say Bo Nix. Oregon.
Bo, see one in?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bo Nix from Oregon. Like what they did to Colorado hurt. I ain't gonna lie, it hurt. It hurt to see that. It hurt to see Coach Prime go through that and Shadur go through that. But I'm putting Bo there. He just hasn't had a game where he's had to play the whole game yet.
Right.
And he's gonna have that this weekend playing against Washington. So we'll see those 2 guys go head to head. And then I got Shadur at 5. Because what he's been doing, coming from a HBCU, going to Colorado, helping turn that program around. The yards, the touchdowns. I know the bravado might bother some people, but it don't bother me at all because I just think it's confidence, and we can't allow confidence. Someone being uncomfortable with our confidence should never make us less confident. So that's who I have in them. My one dark horse on the outside is Brock Bowers from Georgia. Ooh. He might be one of the best tight end prospects we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Ever seen. So he's on the outside. He's put 3 100-yard games together in a row right now. For him to really crack that list, he's going to have to keep doing that, which is hard for a tight end to do, but I just wanted to show him some love for sure.
So I'm going to give you something that you probably know, and it may go against the grain of team first mentality when going or taking into consideration winning the Heisman. We all had it, that Heisman moment, right? So anybody who sees this, it's like they used to have an algorithm in college football rankings where they used to have style points. Well, the Heisman still has that kind of weighing factor deciding on who wins it, right? So to anybody who's a contender or candidate for winning the Heisman, you need to perform at your best when your best is needed on that stage. And that's where my biggest question is for Washington playing those games where a lot of people aren't paying attention. Who we seen have that happen to was Christian McCaffrey at Stanford. A lot of people wasn't really paying attention to Stanford because their games are at 10 p.m. at night on the East Coast. And, nobody was, able to really enjoy the impact that Christian McCaffrey had. And I'm fearful that, the Washington quarterback will be faced with that same thing. My dark horse, and I don't think he got going yet, is Marvin Harrison Jr. That guy there is – he hasn't had one of those games yet, but one thing about Ohio State, they are playing meaningful games in front of the world that we all can say, this is this person taking over that game. Brock, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say real quick, I don't think you're wrong about Penix. He's got a big one this weekend against Oregon.
Right.
People are going to watch that.
Correct.
The guy right now that's had the best Heisman moment is Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Because everyone was watching that Colorado game, and he played his tail off, and that's the prime effect. I know you just saw Coach Prime just sold out the game at Arizona State, between Arizona State and Colorado, and they have it. That's never happened. So Coach Prime bringing the attention to Oregon has Bo Nix probably with the best Heisman moment up to this point.
Absolutely, man. Man, RG, my guy, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate your time, man. And as I always say, one finger, one pinky, one thumb. I love, bro. Till next time, dog.
Appreciate you, dog.
Thank you,
we
bro.
got to do that Heisman house for real, though.
Man, it's been so many people contacted me. We also got Troy Smith. Shout out to Troy. Troy hit me and was like,
there we go.
Think about this. And I'm going to keep mentioning it. And one of my producers is looking at me like, no, bro, don't say it. Fuck it, I'm going to say it. Troy Smith, RGiii, OJ Simpson.
Oh, my God.
Woo. Johnny Manziel, Reggie Bush, Cam Newton. Bro. Let's just keep bringing the flame Say that.
Let's keep doing
Oh,
it. Let's
and
keep
then
bringing the
Mr.
play,
Blaze himself, Ricky Williams, in that motherfucker.
Oh, you know he gonna be blazed up for sure.
I'm bringing the stogies. He bringing the doggone bake shop. You know what I'm saying? But bruh,
Oh my goodness.
that's some good shit, man. Appreciate you, RG. Thank you, bro.
Appreciate you, dog.
And here we go, Cam's picks. Now I'm very, 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 very excited about last week's turnout. I went 3-0, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Last week, I chose the Dolphins as 10.5-point favorites over the Giants. They handled their business. This one had me a little nervous, but CJ Stroud played a good game, but I went with the Falcons as they won. And lastly, Joe Shiesty, handled business with Mr. I'm always open, Jamar Chase. So this leaves my overall record at 8-4. Last week, I went 3-0. So if you need some help, you know who to call. This week, I am going with the Rams as 6.5-point favorites over the Cardinals. The Puka combination is too lethal for the Arizona Plugs. Yeah, so that's why I'm going with the Rams. The Buccaneers with Baker at the helm. I believe that they have a good home turnout versus the Lions, and they're red hot right now. So that's kind of like, they got a doggone handle their business. And I said I was never going to go with the Chicago Bears, but what we seen on last Thursday was nothing short of what we could potentially see from production from Justin Fields. My dog DJ Moore handled his business, and I still think they're going to still rock and roll with 3-point favorites over the Vikings. Let's see what happens. There you have it for this week's picks. If you agree with it, make sure you comment, make sure you share, and make sure you let me know how you feel about this week's picks. And as we wrap this week's show up with 4th and 1, catch me each and every Wednesday exclusively on my YouTube channel. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, and most of all, make sure you share this video. And as I always say, with love, one finger, one pinky, one thumb, one love. You dig?